Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Delta Dental Stadium here in Manchester, New Hampshire, home of the AA affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, for coverage of New Hampshire High School Championship Baseball here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, produced by the NFHS Network, along with our producer extraordinaire, Ben Beals, back in studio, and alongside Steve Beals, I'm Ben Alcher. Thanks again for joining us for the second of our 3 championship broadcasts today. We take you now to Division III in the state of New Hampshire, and a battle of, well, a team that has not been here since the late 80s versus a team that's been here every year since the pandemic, Brady Giants and the 5th-seeded Monadnock Regional Huskies. Now, though they are a 5-seed, Steve, Monadnock is very familiar with this situation. The Huskies going for their 4th state title in the last 5 years.
Been here for the last 3 of them, and watch this team just come in, just juiced up, ready to go. These guys, they get stronger as the innings. Almost every single year that I remember, they got stronger as the innings went on. To see what happened. But when you look at where they basically came from here, as far as the schedule is concerned, they beat White Mountains 10-3, and then they have a close one with Belmont, another solid team, 2-1 against Belmont, and here they are. On the other side, Bishop Brady comes through, 4-3 in a tight one with Campbell. That's no surprise. And then just come out and just blow out Conant 10-0, and here they are.
And this is one where you really can't let the seeds really indicate the story, because if you go back and look at the final regular season standings,
yes,
the top 5 teams in Division III all had at least 14 wins.
Right.
Case in point,
so how do you break that up?
There was only a half game that separated Bishop Brady from Monadnock in the standings, and that was a game that wasn't played. Bishop Brady finished the year 14-2, Monadnock 14-3.
Excellent point, Ben.
So,
excellent point. And that's going to lend itself probably to a darn good matchup. You got this tradition here of just winning, and it never gets old, and they just come back hungry every single year. Bishop Brady, though, has had a stellar season, and I know some people that have relatives and stuff on this team, and they say the pitching is solid.
And to your point, when Monadnock has gotten here, they have been dominant. A 9-5 win over Belmont last year.
Yep.
They scored 11 in 2022, 10 runs in 2021, all championship seasons. The only year they lost was a 2-0 setback to White Mountains in 2023. So the Huskies go in for their 4th title in 5 years. Bishop Brady, meanwhile, this is their first championship game appearance since 1989. They've got 2 state titles to their name, and they haven't done it in almost 30 years. It's been a Cinderella season in a lot of ways for the Giants, a school out of the state capital in Concord, New Hampshire, and they have done it. Pitching's been good. Offense has really been the story. They've scored at least 6 runs every single time they've taken the field this year. The lone exception was that quarterfinal round victory, a 4-3 win over Campbell. So the offense has been very dynamic for this Giants team.
Yep.
And
the officiating crew today. Yep.
Though they haven't gotten to this stage much, when they have, they've won. So twice before they've been in a state championship game, twice they've come home with a state title. So trying to go a perfect 3 for 3 and make it their 3rd ever state championship in
Bishop
program
Brady,
history.
A school of what, 260, 275, somewhere in that range?
Yeah,
maybe
small private school.
Small private school, but they just, they just keep coming. And they've executed when they had the opportunity. So is Monadnock. The pitching that I've seen from Monadnock over the last 3 years has been. I'm very anxious to see how things are going to go this game with their staff. But their pitching has always been solid. So when I think of Monadnock, I think the word tough. They bring in. Look at the size of these guys going on down that lineup. There's some good sized guys in here. They tend to drive the ball extremely well, but.
And that toughness starts from the top down, and their head coach, Tom Cody, is obviously very familiar with this program. Go back and look at the regular season matchup, a 6-2 win for Bishop Brady at Monadnock back on May the 19th. So they made the trip all the way out to the western part of the state of New Hampshire and picked up a big road victory. So right now, the Bishop Brady lineup being introduced to the fans here at Delta Dental Stadium. You mentioned the size of the Huskies players. You look at some of these Bishop Brady guys.
I was just going
they embody the moniker of the Giants.
I would argue that this team, as far as size, physique is concerned, these two teams are equal at least, if not bigger in some cases, in the two Division I programs we saw. It looks like we're going to have the anthem. So
we'll pause for the national anthem and introduce you to the starting lineups on the other side.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
National anthem in the books. Time to get you going with the Division III state championship game here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, in conjunction with the NFHS Network. Let's start with the visiting team, the 5th-seeded Monadnock Regional Huskies. They are led off by junior Kobe Kidney. He is at first base. The third baseman, Sumner Hill-Goodell, the freshman in the 2 spot today for the Huskies. Shortstop Hayden Bertolami, the senior, hits third. He is followed by Lucas Williams, the cleanup hitter, senior and designated hitter. Hitting 5th, the center fielder Wesley McQuirk. Hitting 6th, the catcher Xavier Thompson. In the 7th spot is the starting pitcher for Monadnock, Chris Rollo. He is a sophomore. Hitting 8th, the junior right fielder Nick Ball. And in the 9th spot for the Huskies is the left fielder, senior Chase Elliott. Starting pitcher for the Bishop Brady Giants is senior Owen Thornton. He will be tasked with trying to slow down this Monadnock offense, which has hit over 350 this year. We talked about Bishop Brady and their ability to score runs. Monadnock can do that as well, especially in bunches, and they will look to put Bishop Brady against it early on as the Giants, sporting the green and gold, head out to the field first. Thornton on the mound, taking a look defensively for Bishop Brady. Max Guerra behind the plate doing the catching for Thornton. At first base, Henry Thresher. At second base, Colton Goodrow. At shortstop, it is Wynn Thomas. At third base, Luke Bedard. Left to right in the outfield, Ryan Bosch, Jack Spees. And the right fielder is Daniel Shedd. He is the designated outfielder, if you will. He will not be in the starting 9 hitting-wise, which we'll go over as we get to the bottom of the first inning. But, Steve, very interesting matchup, and obviously for a Monadnock team that's experienced in this scenario, you know, they're going to look to get off to a quick start here and jump on Thornton early.
2 ways to look at this from Monadnock's perspective. Obviously, one side of that, what we'll call the experience advantages, even if none of these players played for Monadnock last year, many of them we know were there. And just to be in that environment, there's a built-in tradition of expectation to win and to have the leadership around them a year ago for those who are just coming up and playing in their first championship game. The second thing is for those that did play, there's just a sense of calmness that they have, but yet quiet confidence that they have going in. The thing about Bishop Brady is that a lot of these kids are good poised athletes. I would say there's an advantage there for Monadnock, but it's ultimately going to come down to the talent and how these guys individually, their maturity and the coaching and then the implementation of what the coaching's vision is on the field and executing. But we saw in last game, I think that's a prototype game that we looked at for Exeter. A very good game, by the way. There was about 4 or 5 situations in that game, Ben, that really defined that game. I don't expect any different here with these two good two-ball teams.
In case you're just joining us, our first game of the day, the Division I Championship, Exeter taking home yet another state title, topping Winnicott by a 3-1 final. Our early game this morning, Division IV Championship game, had to be postponed to tomorrow. First pitch from Thornton in the books at 4:06, and it is a called strike to Kobe Kidney. Monadnock sporting pinstripes in the dark green with the all-white uniforms this afternoon. Kidney tries to go the other way, and the right fielder, Shedd, gets over in time to make the catch. That ball kept tailing towards him, so helping out the right fielder, and Thornton retires the first hitter he faces. Here is Sumner Hill Goodell. He has been a dynamic force, a freshman jumping right into the starting group. He has a team leading 3 home runs and 22 runs batted in this year. And Hill Goodell cannot hold up on the off-speed pitch called strike. Our home plate umpire for this Division III title game, Steve McCormick, Brian Smith, and Mark Craig on the bases. That one up and in to Hill Goodell for a ball, 1-1. Thornton's 1-1 pitch.
Nice delivery there.
Off speed, but off the outside corner, 2-1. Hard to believe when you look at Hill Goodell that he's only a freshman. He's got to be at least 6 foot something.
Well, that's something you see more often down in the Division III and Division IV, especially where you have freshmen that are just outstanding ball players that are able to fit into either the rotation or in the positional spot. And Division I, that's generally speaking, you're not going to see that because they have the size that, and scope of players on the team to have a freshman team. But nice delivery over the top like that, yeah.
3-1 right down the middle. Hill Goodell letting it go.
Be interesting to find out Steve McCormick's. We saw him last year, but Steve's what he's looking for as far as the strike zone is concerned.
Big 3-2 here early. That one's in the dirt, and Hill Goodell works a walk with 1 out. So first base runner of the game goes to Monadnock, and they'll have a runner on with 1 out. And Hayden Bertolami, who has been a central figure to this great run for the Huskies over these last couple years. Now the starting shortstop as a senior. He's hit close to .350 this year, an on-base percentage of over 500.
Think of that every single time this young man's at bat. He's going to get on base better than half the time.
1 out of 2 times.
If that doesn't help your baseball team, I don't know what does.
Check over on the freshman Hill Goodell at first. He is back safely. And we saw, certainly in that Division I game, having experience, and especially in Monadnock's case, championship game experience, often pays off in a big way.
No question.
A couple more checks over on Hill Goodell at first. Thornton very preoccupied. This is a Monadnock team that will absolutely run. They have 6 players with at least 10 stolen bases this year. Bertolami takes a pitch on the inner half for a strike. Hill Goodell is among those who will run. He has 12 steals on the year.
Outfield straight away, leaving those alleys wide. No favoritism really towards any way, just slightly to the left of the bag on the center fielder, but pretty much leaving those alleys open.
Another check on the runner. And again, Hill Goodell back safely. Another throw to first. That one a little closer, but again, Hill Goodell is in. Pitch to Bertolami is a strike. And right over the heart of the plate. Bertolami not able to pull the trigger. Maybe lulled to sleep by some of those throws over to first.
Well, we saw a great battle going on last game, and it was got some boos from the crowd, but
another throw to first. This time, Hill Goodell safe again.
If you're into pitching and that whole cat and mouse game that goes between runner, and then to see Brennan just go for it the first time he goes to the plate, it's just that kind of competitive nature that comes into this. Oh, what a rip.
0-2 lined up the middle, but right into the glove of the
Yeah.
center fielder, Spies.
Good hit there, though.
So Hill Goodell will head back to first, 2 down in the top of the first inning. For the cleanup man, Lucas Williams, the senior, hitting .319 on the year, no homers, 14 runs batted in. So some solid contact early. Kidney put one in the outfield. Bertolami put one in the outfield, but hit him ostensibly right to the outfielders. A Hill Goodell walk, the only base runner so far allowed. Another throw over to first, and again the lanky freshman dives back in. He's getting a workout over there.
Yeah, one of those things as a first baseman, which I played for years when I wasn't pitching. One of the things you want to do is not catch the ball way out in front of the plate, so you have to sweep the tag and it takes too long. You want to line yourself up kind of right over where the runner's hand's going to be coming into the base, and then just be able to slap it down. He's kind of leaning forward just a little bit. You want to bring that glove back over the bag. Some guys straddle the bag when they're trying to cover. Nice pitch there.
Right at the knees for a strike. Williams behind 0-2. Thornton searching for his first strikeout of the afternoon.
The pace of the pitches here between the batters getting in is a little bit slower, just by design.
Another throw to first. That one juggled a little bit.
Nice scoop. Yeah, trying to catch him leaning as he was breaking out into his lead. Thought he had his body going the wrong way, but obviously doing whatever is necessary here that they can to try to keep him out of scoring position with 2 outs.
0-2 swung on and missed.
And he did it.
Fastball up and away, gets Williams to chase, and Thornton works around the 1-out walk.
Yes.
1 run, or no runs, 1 walk, no hits, and a runner left stranded for Monadnock in the top half of the first. Before we go to the bottom half, let's take a look at the starting 9 for the Giants of Bishop Brady. Wynn Thomas, the shortstop, leads it off. He'll be followed by the catcher, Max Guerra. The center fielder, Jack Spies, hits third. Third baseman, Luke Bedard, in the cleanup spot. Henry Thresher over at first, hits 5th. Thornton, the pitcher, will be in the 6th spot. He'll be followed by the second baseman, Colton Goudreau. The left fielder, Ryan Bosch, hits 8th. And the 9-hole hitter is John McCurley. He is the DH for the right fielder, Daniel Shedd. And they will be going up against the number 2 man on the Monadnock staff, sophomore Chris Rollo, who has pitched to a 2.38 ERA this year. But in terms of innings, it's a little surprising. No Caden Smith. Again, part of that might be the matchup. Smith pitched the regular season game against Bishop Brady, probably pitched semifinal on Wednesday.
Yep.
But he has been the man who's chewed up innings all year long. He's thrown 75 innings for Monadnock this year. And so instead, it is the sophomore Rollo who gets the call. Combined, Rollo and Smith have thrown 110 of the 130 innings that Monadnock pitchers have thrown. It really is essentially a 2-man operation.
It really is. And if you look at Rollo, boy, as a sophomore, just look at the frame on this guy. Look at the height and the lankiness. That's going to help him as he continues and grows and strengthens to try to develop velocity, because the pitching arc that he's throwing from is far and away so much different than a guy like Pedro Martinez with a very, very short, a much smaller arc. But, boy, that guy was incredible in his own right. But most pitchers thrive off of lengthy careers, and most starters you'll see that are going long innings, they've got to have that kind of height, and he's certainly got that God-given capability there. Let's see how he pitches. Got a nice delivery.
Starts off Thomas with a ball down low.
And a sophomore. Wow.
A little bit of a funky high leg kick.
Yes.
Brings that knee almost to forehead level. This one a strike past Thomas, 1-1.
But he's coming straight over the top, so he's got his delivery is such. Ooh, a knuckler. That's a knuckler right there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that was a breaking ball.
Something that had a heck of a lot of movement on it, but missed inside, 2-1, then goes right back to the fastball in the outside corner. And he is working with tempo early.
Yeah, he is not going to leave us hanging here in between pitches. He's going right after it.
2-2. Fastball chopped, and that'll land in right field.
Yep.
Thomas aboard with a leadoff single for the Giants. And that was some old school hitting there, just throwing the bat head at the ball
Love
and
it.
working it the other way.
Love it. Look, he's not an overpowering hitter. He's got to go play the gaps and the alleys and things of that nature, not the outfield alleys, literally the infield alleys, and he did a nice piece of hitting right there. If you look at it, he kept his hips and he kept his shoulders turned into the ball, and it's a good piece of opposite field hitting right there. Nice job.
So leadoff man aboard for the catcher, Guerra, who takes a pitch high for ball one.
Yep.
This Giants offense has been outstanding all year long.
That looks to me like a knuckleball. Can we see that again?
Routinely scoring double digits has been Bishop Brady.
Okay, here we go. Let's just see the release on. It was too late, unfortunately. But it's moving like a knuckler.
That one almost hit Guerra.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's still a little. Maybe we can look at another one if he throws that thing again. But it looks to me like that's a knuckleball the way it's moving. Whoa!
Throw over to first might have caught Kidney off guard a little bit there.
Yes, I saw that.
Thomas choosing not to try and advance. 3-0 count to the catcher, Guerra. On that one.
That's a good-looking pitch there.
Right over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, that leg kick does a great job for creating balance and building power, but it also, watch it, shields the delivery. He does a good job hiding the ball beside it on the back. I don't know if that's natural, if that's trained, or a combination of the both, but his delivery is very well designed, and it's going to be difficult to pick up releasing from the hands until the very last second.
Went right after him again. Late swing from Guerra drew a foul. 3-2. Hard line drive through the infield by the dive of Bertolami.
Yeah, they're picking the holes.
Bishop Brady off to a quick start. Back-to-back base hits.
Yep.
Here in the bottom of the first. Here comes the senior Jack Spiess. Had an 18 strikeout game on the mound earlier this year.
Yeah.
He can do it with the bat as well. He's in center field today. And Rollo in a little bit of a jam early on. Runners at first and second with nobody out. And Monadnock is not going to play Spiess to bunt here. Time called by the hitter. A couple of well-placed two-strike swings, allowing Bishop Brady to set the table here for Spiess.
Trying to analyze his pitching repertoire here as far as what he's throwing, other than fastball and what appears to be a knuckler.
Fastball driven out towards right field. Nick Ball shading back, has it. Runner from second will tag and get to third.
He's got. Wow, that's a college arm right there. That's a good gun all the way back to second base. Got it in quickly, no opportunity. Looks like there's going to be a little conference here at the mound.
Infielders coming in, maybe just checking with one another to make sure that Thomas didn't leave second early and they don't want to appeal. They will not. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Tom Cody's trotting out here for an early meeting with his infield and with Rollo. So perhaps just some situational discussion here early on in terms of the plan with runners on the corners and only one out. Obviously, the hope is for a ground ball to try to turn two, but primary focus, you would think here for Monadnock, is trying to keep Thomas from getting in by any means necessary.
Absolutely. You got one out, so you're going to play straight away, be looking for the double play. So I would expect the infielders to be out in their normal positions. Not going to try to squeeze anything at home plate. But it'll be interesting to see where they go, how aggressive the third base coach gets with his runner on third, and see if they try to pickle him.
Off speed. There's that knuckle curve, I guess, of some sort, missing high. Skip Foy, the Giants head coach, man's third base. He is stride for stride with Thomas at the moment. 1-0.
That's a knuckleball right there. There's no doubt about that.
Hasn't been able to find the range on it and hasn't fooled the hitter as of yet.
Nope.
A lot of drop on that one. 2-0 pitch. Fouled away. That got in on the hands a little bit of Bedard.
Yeah, he's trying to play with speeds right now. He's trying to use that knuckleball as kind of a same release, but a much more off speed, kind of pull the string a little bit, get a little movement, and then he comes firing back with a fastball. But like you said, he's got to hit the strike zone with these in order to make it effective.
Now the catcher, Xavier Thompson, going to go out and have a quick conversation with both Rollo and the first baseman, Kidney. So maybe thinking about Guerra at first base there, what they can do maybe to pick him off. 2-1 delivery. Grounder to the left side. Bertolami will knock it down, but the run will score. Infield single for Bedard, and Bishop
Effective.
Brady's just hitting him to the right spots right now,
Yep.
and they'll lead 1-0. And Thomas knew the instant that Bedard made contact that ball was going to be in a spot where there was going to be no play at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
So he was off right away. And Bertolami had no chance at making a play there. This one slicing toward right field. That's going to be a foul ball. Thresher tried to poke one inside the line. And
yeah, those are one that drive pitchers crazy when that lands fair and then bounds away. And they really didn't hit you very well. It's just a little bit of a tip pop fly, and you wind up cleaning off the base paths. It's very frustrating, but that one went foul to his benefit.
A 1 to Thresher.
Wow.
Ducks out of the way.
Yeah. He hasn't really been able to hit, the strike zone with that pitch yet. Maybe one of them.
Throw over to first. Diving back safely is Bedard. Runners at first and second with only one out here in the bottom of the first. Bishop Brady already has one across. This one a slow grounder. Rollo off the mound. Underhand flip to first for out number 2.
Yep.
Runners will advance to second and third in the process, but a big second out there.
Yeah. One out. If there's no outs, you may want to just, in that situation, try to turn it and get the forced play on that, because I think they could have had him, but it's not worth it if it's going to be the second out. You got first base open. You haven't got to throw anything really to him with 2 outs. Make him earn it.
So here's the pitcher, Owen Thornton, trying to break this game open. That one bounced.
Nice
but
stop.
Will stay around the plate area. Thompson able to get enough of it to prevent Guerra from attempting to score. 3 hits in the inning for the Giants, all singles. Foul. Rollo trying to keep this a 1-run game here in the first inning. There's that off-speed pitch. That was about the closest one he's thrown so far, but
right.
Still low.
Yeah, but it's just starting to break so early. Watch it break immediately. See it? It pulls out. It pulls away from the strike zone, doesn't stay in it, and the batters are reading it very, very well. Been very impressed with the hitting IQ that a lot of these players that we've seen so far today have. They do a very good job selecting at the plate.
Goes back to the knuckler and missed it high, so a walk to Thornton.
Yep.
And that'll load it up for the Giants with 2 outs.
Well, obviously, this is one of his base anchor 3 or 4 pitches in his repertoire. If it's not going to hit the strike zone, it's going to be problems for him today.
Well, it's basically been fastball, knuckleball. And
that's pretty much it.
It sort of sometimes can be a feast or famine pitch. So Colton Gaudreau had a quick meeting with his head coach, Skip Foy, before stepping in here. We'll see how patient he elects to be. First pitch, a fastball down low, and that's the thing. If the knuckle's not going to be anywhere around the zone, push that much more pressure on
Agreed.
Rollo throwing the fastball. This one poked to the right side, one hopper, snagged by the second baseman Jackson Blood. They'll go to first for the out, and the Giants will leave the bases loaded. They do get one on a walk and 3 hits, no errors in the inning, but they leave the bases loaded at the end of one full inning. It is Bishop Brady 1, Monadnock nothing in the Division III championship game presented by Friday Night Lights New Hampshire and the NFHS Network. On we go to the top of the second inning here from Manchester, Delta Dental Stadium, home of the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, AA affiliate of the Blue Jays, and our second championship game of the day. In Division III, Bishop Brady, the early 1-0 lead over Monadnock after one inning, but maybe a missed opportunity, Steve. Yeah. Giants had the bases loaded with 2 outs. They had runners on first and second with nobody out. They do get one across on the infield single from Bedard, but that's all they get.
Coming back to that same thing again, Ben, with the situations in baseball game. 7-inning game, 4 or 5 situations. That's going to be clearly one of those you look back at because you have to deliver. And so we'll see what the Huskies can do here at the plate.
Right, it's all dependent on what happens on this side of things. If Thornton comes out and shuts down the Monadnock hitters, you sort of shrug off that missed opportunity.
Exactly. Whoa.
First pitch goes behind Wes McQuirk.
Yeah, I thought it struck his number in the back there, but it didn't. You could see in replay there it didn't. It just went over. Almost hit his bat.
He's able to crouch enough to get out of the way there. Thornton is not yet allowed a hit, walked a man in the first. But a relatively low trouble first inning. Here's a pop-up in foul ground, and the first baseman Thresher over to make the grab.
I don't know if there's a breeze up there. Clearly the way it spun off the bat, it's going to go to the right, no question. But they seem to really be moving over quite a bit. There may be up above the stadium. There could be a little breeze up there driving it to the right, the seats on the right side. I don't know, but that was a good job staying focused and knowing where he was. Whoa, that's a good rip.
Xavier Thompson sneaks it inside the left field line on the first pitch. It gets into the corner, rattles around the wall. Thompson going for 3. Relay throw, not in time. Thompson almost overslid the bag.
That was close right there, but he was able to control it. He's calling for time as he stretches his he's holding on to the bag with his fingernail there, and that's a heck of a rip right there. He got around in that ball. Watch how he kept his bat, himself closed here. You're going to see he waits in the ball very well and then just gets his bat out in front and just tees it off right there.
And that will bring Skip Foy out to the mound. Infield will be called in for a quick meeting here as they're going to be thrown into some situational defense. For Thompson, he is Monadnock's leading hitter, hit .500 on the year, 30 hits in 70 plate appearances. That is only his 4th extra base hit, though, and his first triple.
Right.
So mostly a singles hitter. That's why he's 5th in the lineup.
What was that again? What was that stat again? 40 hits out of 70?
30 hits in 70 plate appearances. So it's excluding
that's over
walks.
A 400. What would that average be?
I guess that's not counting. It's plate appearances as opposed to at bats, so that's a different number a little bit.
I think, we're all brought up to think about hitting average, but on-base percentage is really got to be looked at because
almost 600 for Thompson.
That's my point. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah.
And he's got his team in position to tie the game here with Rollo at the plate. Takes that one right over the outer half for a strike. Count evens up at 1-1.
Yep, that's a nice pitch right there. Good location, good form coming through. He did his full windup from start to finish.
Bishop Brady will pull the infield in here, trying to prevent the run. That one in the dirt, nicely blocked by Guerra.
Yeah.
Wild pitch. We've already seen one this inning from Thornton, so that's not out of the question here as well.
When he's going low, he's rushing his delivery just a little bit, and the ball's dropping in the dirt. That's happened multiple times, and then got to finish.
That one's high. 3-1. We talked about Rollo trying to establish his repertoire. We just have to look up at the video board to get our answer here.
Yeah.
His roster photo, if you will, he's showing that knuckle grip.
When I saw the ball movement and you could see the way it was releasing, there was no way he couldn't be a knuckleball, and sure enough.
Foul. This will be into the seats. Caught nicely by a Monadnock fan. We're not playing Savannah Banana rules, so that is just a foul ball, not an out.
No.
Count now to 3-2 on the Huskies
Savannah
starting
Banana.
pitcher. Well, hey, it moves the game along, right?
It does.
Fan catches a foul ball, you're out. And now Rollo calls time just before Thornton goes into his windup. Still nobody out in the one out in the inning, one out triple by Thompson into the left field corner.
Well, good batters have a good clock in their head of the progression of the at-bat. Yeah, he's did a good job there. Kind of won the psychological battle with Owen, and got himself on base and helping us. The only problem here is it does open up a double play potential, but you're still going to take that base. You want runners on base with one out.
A bit of a stalemate there. Thornton doesn't get the out he wanted, but he also doesn't give up the run.
Yeah.
Here's the 8-hitter, Nick Ball.
Yeah. Don't be 100% sure you don't see a double steal here attempt.
Well, certainly with Monadnock's running numbers, they've stolen over 100 bases this year. You'd have to think that's certainly in play. Rollo has 11 steals this year. Not going here. Ball fouls it to the backstop, 0-1.
Yep.
Ball, interestingly enough, 208 average, but has 2 of the 5 home runs that the Huskies have hit this year. He's driven in 8 on the season.
Well, a lot of managers of baseball teams will give 40 or 50 batting average points to get the power side of the hitting up, and
the power could come into play here if Ball can put one in the outfield.
Yeah,
that might be enough to bring in the runner from third.
Either one of those, like that left field alley for right-handed hitters wide.
Runner goes, no throw.
Yeah.
Pitch was down.
So they were ready.
Away.
They were ready. They knew that was going to happen. Give it to them.
Stolen base number 12 on the year for Rollo, and now not only is the tying run in scoring position, but the go-ahead run as well here for Monadnock in the top of the second.
Well, you can fake a throw to the pitcher or have the second baseman run in, throw it to him, and then nail him at the plate. Seen that happen before.
And now Guerra calls time and jogs out to have a quick chat, and Tom Cody will come down from third and get in the ear of Ball here.
What do you suppose he's asking him there?
Maybe just inquiring on if that counts as a mound visit, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We know it does at the major league level. A little different here. Infield still in. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Ball takes. That's a strike.
Good pitch.
Thornton went after him there. Count goes to 1-2.
Infield is very active out there at second and shortstop, trying to make sure they're in position to foil the play.
Ball swings and misses, but it gets through. Guerra, runner coming in from third. The throw is in time. Thornton applied the tag.
Big play in this ball game so far. Nobody on second base. He may have to go back. I think there may have been timeout called. No, there wasn't. As soon as he ran that ball back there, he's got to call timeout, and he didn't, and that was good. Heads up running. Monadnock prides itself in base running, not just stealing bases.
Great tag there by Thornton, right to the top of the helmet.
Thornton, and how a great job on the slide throw by the catcher.
Same situation now because Ball, even though he struck out, advanced on the
that's what I was saying.
Pitch.
He brought the ball back to the infield. He had ample time to call timeout when he got back, and he didn't do that. Good heads-up base running by him.
First pitch swinging from the 9-hitter, Chase Elliott.
But if you folks saw in that replay, you're going to see a catcher That's how you get the ball back after a pass ball to the pitcher at home plate.
And a great job by Thornton of getting down to cover quickly as well.
Excellent. Great job getting there as well. I agree. And putting on the tag, being in position.
And Monadnock still in position to try to take advantage. Elliott spoils another foul behind 0-2. Yeah. 355 hitter, no homers, 10 runs batted in for the starting left fielder.
Yeah.
So Monadnock, despite not getting the run in there, still able to keep the pressure on. But now 2 on, 2 outs. And Elliott down in the count 0-2. The pitch, check swing. They will appeal. Brian Smith, the first base umpire down at second now, says he held up. So now it's Rollo at third. Ball at second. 1-2 to Elliott. Ground ball, foul.
Foul ball.
Snagged by the head coach, Tom Cody. Nice play there by the headband down at third base in the box. Love a little chuckle about that. Says, that's right, boys. I can get it done too. No glove necessary.
He does not have to throw this. Oh,
swing and a miss.
High heater, and that's a, if you're going to go after it, throw a high heater like that. And he reared back. Watch this on replay, folks. This is a great job. If we get it from the rear view, that'd be wonderful. Where you see the windup, and that was all high heat. There's my buddy Chris Forsberg out there in the stands. Look at that extension, up high, unhittable ball, and he knew it that he should have let that thing go, but it's so hard to lay off. Look at that perfect location. He reared back and fired that ball. Instead of just wasting it, throwing it way outside, why not throw it up a high heater like that? And that's just good pitching right there. Give him credit. That's Owen, right?
Yep. Challenged Elliott, let her high.
Yep.
And Thornton gets the big strikeout. His
one-on-one matchups.
Second of the ball game, and strands 2 in scoring position. He has stranded 3 over the first 2 innings. And just want to go back to the ball at bat because it's a really crazy sequence of events. Runners on second and third. Ball strikes out.
Yep.
But a wild pitch gets past Guerra. So, in that instance, even though there's runners on base, because first base was open, ball is able to advance. So, heads-up play by him to get all the way to second base.
Right, but they had the ball back in the infield that the player with the ball needs to look at that. Is there any way, Ben, we can get that from that same thing from the rear view or John's camera out in the left center, if you have that?
That was
because you're going to see a catcher that's been properly trained, and he just – let's take a look here. Slow it down just a little bit. Okay, ball gets passed. Look, he knows, he's aware, and by getting down in that crouch allows him – he's lining himself up to throw the ball back to the pitcher in minimal time. Now watch. He slides. He's in position to throw. Bang. That is real first-class baseball right there by Owen Thornton, as you said, Ben, as well.
Yeah, Thornton getting a good job covering and applying the tag quickly, and Guerra was inch perfect on it. Ryan Bosch goes the other way. That line drive will hang up in time to be snagged by Ball in right field. So first pitch, first out, Rollo gets his man retired to lead off the second inning.
So much of this great game is not necessarily about slugging percentages. Of course, that's always foundational, but having those kind of plays and be able to that helps you beat the teams that you're equal in other. It's those defining moments in a game that just save runs and get key outs that don't allow rallies to continue.
John McCurley, the DH, even up in the count now, 1-1 to Rollo.
The knuckler.
There it is, down and in.
Still not around the plate enough, though. It's not. He's not throwing him off of his, into the strike zone or close enough. He gets great movement. It can still be a strike, and you're going to miss it.
High chopper to Bertolami. Strong throw in plenty of time. McCurley retired 6-3. So Rollo, after a bit of an up and down first inning, is able to get the first 2 here in the second.
Yeah.
That'll go back to the top of the order for Wynn Thomas.
But you got to get that knuckleball looking a little bit more enticing to get them to swing for it.
It's one of those pitches just impossibly difficult to control.
Well, there's two ways to throw a knuckleball effectively. One is starting in the strike zone and then fading away, but the batter's already committed. Or to freeze him because he thinks it's not going to be, and then have it curve right down into the strike zone. The key is very minimal spin in the ball, which allows it to kind of drop without the batter even realizing it. But both are good.
Thomas ahead 3-0 here. That last pitch a little bit low, drew some groans from the Monadnock side. And that one misses inside. So 4-pitch walk to Thomas with 2 outs.
Talk about a little knuckleball history. You got a Wilbur Wood who would throw it towards the strike zone and fade away. Great knuckleball pitcher. But then you got Tim Wakefield who developed it to start high and out of the strike zone. It would drop right in. It would drive batters crazy. Both of these guys were gifted knucklers, and but used the knuckler in a different form. So.
Runner goes. Here's the throw
got him.
down.
He's got him.
It is in time.
Yeah. Boy, this is just good.
Oh, and a little wave, too, from Thompson behind the plate.
Got to watch out for that because, boy, he was behind the official, the umpire, the plate umpire, so he never saw it. But that is just some good baseball right there. Look at that.
No runs, a walk, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Runner caught stealing its second to end the inning.
Oh, nice slap on the tag. You see he started with his left hand and then he switched to his right, but he still got the tag. If you put the glove right down in front of the base, the bag, doesn't matter which hand's coming in. That's what he got it in front of the bag and he slid right into the tag. So
the end of 2, 1-0. Bishop Brady here from Manchester.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Ready for the top of the 3rd inning here from Delta Dental Stadium. Back on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, in conjunction with the NFHS Network. Ben Alter and Steve Beals here with you for the second of our 3 championship games today. 3rd-seeded Bishop Brady leads 5th-seeded Monadnock 1-0. As Owen Thornton out for his 3rd inning of work for the Giants. As Bishop Brady searches for just its 3rd state title in school history, while Monadnock is going for its 4th in 5 years. They'll have to try to do it in come-from-behind fashion. And it'll be the top of the order here for the Huskies in the 3rd. Kobe Kidney, Sumner Hill-Goodell, and Hayden Bertolami. First pitch from Thornton catches the inside corner for a strike to Kidney, who flied out to right his first time up.
Looked like a slider.
That one tails away, and Kidney takes it for a ball. Huskies had their best chance last inning after a one-out triple, from the catcher Xavier Thompson. They eventually got runners to 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, but could not scrap it across thanks to some wonderful defense by the catcher Max Guerra. Threw out Thompson at home on a wild pitch.
Yeah, Owen, I've been able to kind of zone in a little bit, watch him prep his ball. He's thrown like a split-finger fastball, and that's what's causing the movement. Yeah.
2-1.
There we go.
Headed towards center field, and over in time to make the grab is Spiess.
Nice track down right there. He had a good jump on that ball.
Kidney drives it hard, but couldn't get it around the outfielder. Just needed it to tail a little bit more into the gap. It would not go.
Well, if you look at the way he hit that ball, he had to drop down a little bit because the pitch dropped down. And he kind of got under it a little bit more than he wanted to your point, Ben, where the spin just kind of drove it towards the right center side. But that's just a good tracking by center fielder.
Hill-Goodell gets one off the end of the bat, fouls it off. ended up just in front of the plate, but caught a piece of Guerin in the batter's box first. Hill Goodell walked his first time up and then got into a stare down with Thornton before eventually Stain put it first. Well, Thornton pitched his way out of the inning. This one a line drive snared by Thomas, the shortstop. So solid contact again, but again right at one of the Giants' defenders.
So far been two what appear to be very early on, two evenly matched teams. And if you look at the records of how they scored against their opponents, you can see why we're seeing that today. Be interesting if anybody breaks out here. It doesn't seem likely at this point, but obviously that can change on a dime. But
absolutely
doesn't look like it. Looks like these two teams are very evenly matched. Going to be a battle to the end.
Bertolami got handcuffed on a ball inside, fouled it off for strike one. That one down low.
Yep.
Thornton hoping for his first 1-2-3 inning here. Bertolami trying to get Williams up to the plate.
Not much you can really say negative about either one of these pitches' mechanics. They're pretty good. Overthrown it, fallen off the plate a little bit there. But overall, Owen's been pretty much in command as well as
2-1 right over the heart of the plate.
When he wants it, he's been able to get it. He's
Bertolami, 2-2. Down and in.
Yeah, he's trying to, keep it low, just above the dirt. And
if that is the splitter, that's the idea.
That's the idea. It's going to drop. So what he's got to, and you don't want that thing coming in like a meatball. So the idea is to bring it in within the strike zone and let it drop out. But these guys are doing a great job laying off of it.
Bertolami punches it the other way, foul. Not taking a chance on a 3-2 pitch that was close.
Yep. Really want to call out our team here about midway now through our broadcast of the three games today. Matt. Oh, ball four. Nice job.
Bertolami double checking with the umpire that it was indeed outside, and he'll take the 2-out walk.
Certainly want to call great work by our cameraman John Barron out in the left center field camera. And Matt Beals down in the first base side dugout in a great spot there to get these views of the players. There's John right there. Maybe John can get a view of Matt from the other end. And, of course, we don't have a camera there, but we have a studio there where Ben Beals is putting together the production. So we really appreciate, Ben and I really appreciate you three guys for
That's the next step. We'll
making
just
it
get
fun.
an in-studio webcam.
Have to get a studio webcam, right? Why not? But great job, guys.
Take the folks behind the scenes. First pitch, a called strike.
Really appreciate them getting here early. John has been talking to them and working with the staff here and getting our setup going all the way back to days ago, and really appreciate the setup they've put together here for you folks to enjoy. We're certainly enjoying it.
This stadium's become a regular host of what's become Championship Saturday.
And it really adds significant value to it. It's a great spot. I was able to go down at where Matt was down at the lower camera, and you can just see this is a fun ballpark. It's got some good dimensional elements to it. Only 306 down the right field line and 316 down the left field line. But those alleys really they go out pretty quickly, and they're pretty deep there into the right center and left center field.
Definitely a classic doubles ballpark.
Definitely.
This one popped foul. That'll find its way over the roof of the Monadnock dugout and into the seats.
That's a really good point, Ben, because when you think about it, it may be a long shot to get a home run. However, with those deep alleys there, it gets there. You've got to be a really slow runner not to get to second base.
Plenty of opportunities still for extra base
yep,
hits.
and some good grinds possible. You get a good speed, you can grind him out into triples. So
we saw that with Thompson.
Yeah, a very important part of the game.
Williams down in the count 0-2 as Thornton tries to work around the 2-out walk to Bertolami. Swing and a miss.
Nice pitch.
High heat again from Thornton. That's his third strikeout. He has ended all 3 innings with a strikeout.
All 3 innings with a strikeout and all 3 strikeouts with high heaters. Every single one of them. He's got them to bite. So
talk about punctuating an inning for the senior Owen Thornton. And no real trouble for him that inning, just the 2-out walk. So he's given up 3 walks. And Monadnock strands a runner for the 4th time. And now Bishop Brady will go back to work.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm drinking here a Coca-Cola.
Yes.
And it says...
Are we working in sponsor tie-ins now?
No. I'm really curious. When in between innings, got to fill this up here. It says Brian on it. What does that mean?
Last few summers, the Coca-Cola company is doing named... They put various names
but
on
I'm
their
Steve.
all their
I'm not
20.
Brian.
Well, you got to find one that says Steve.
Well, so what are you going to... okay. I got my answer.
It's one of those fun little things where you can try to find your name on the bottle of Coke.
I see. So if I get a Steve, I ought to save it then, right?
You should save it, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely a commemorative item.
I don't think I'll even drink it. I think I'll put it in the fridge and just let it sit
leave
there.
It,
just leave it.
Leave it until it's flat.
Till it's fermented or flat, one or the other, right?
Up here from our broadcast position, Ben Alter, Steve Beals, thanks for joining us here on Championship Saturday from Delta Dental Stadium. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd in our Division III championship game. Bishop Brady in front of Monadnock 1-0. It's been that way since the bottom of the 1st. An RBI single by Luke Bedard. He'll be due up 3rd here in the 3rd inning. 2, 3, 4 in the Giants order coming up. Guerra, Spiess, and Bedard.
We're seeing some good pitching here. These guys, there's that knuckler. It's just not falling into the strike zone. It looks like he's releasing it way too early, but overall, these guys have been able to get the spots when they need them, when it matters the most. It's a good shot of them right there.
Guerra, ground ball to short. Bertolami vacuums it up, throw across. Got him by a couple steps. Ever since what was a bit of a rocky first inning, Rolo has settled down nicely. He walked a man in the 2nd, but then Thomas was caught stealing by Thompson to end the inning.
I give Thompson a lot of credit behind the plate, working with this pitcher. Oh, that knuckler fell right in, and see what it does. It's a difficult pitch to hit. You're going to see the knuckler here. If we get this on replay, you'll see the knuckler here. You'll see how it's supposed to drop in position. Many cases, it'll drop right on top of the plate, which makes it very difficult for the hitter. See the commitment, early commitment, and then he completely loses balances because it just rolls away from him.
That time it rolls down and away, so Spiess even in the count 1-1. Flied out to right field his first time up. Knuckler driven out towards center. That'll get down for a base hit.
Now that one came up, started right up around the eyes. That's not going to work, even for a knuckler, because it just kind of dropped back down. But you want to start that out over the plate and let the earlier one, let it drop out away. Boy, you get that going and working for you. It just drives hitters crazy. Look at that one, just hangs right up in the power alley. Didn't really move that much and dropped into his bat rather than down, out, and away. So the knuckleball, just like any other pitch, you got to throw it at the right location and have the right movement on it. Nice pitch.
Fastball in for a strike to Bedard. 4th hit now for the Giants in the ball game. All coming from the top 4 in the order. Throw over to first.
I'll tell you, I'd like to see that one again. Don't you think that? He dropped the ball. Okay.
The ball, yep.
I'm not 100% sure he didn't beat the tag, or he had the tag in. We're going to see. Oh, great field here.
You can see Kidney never had it cleanly.
He never had it cleanly, and he called it safe. Be interesting to see. Oh, nice pitch. Yeah, he's settling down.
Throw over to first again. And Spies back in.
The poise of the pitchers that we see in New Hampshire, I've been seeing it. It's been getting almost better every single year. Luke Boyd from Pinkerton?
Called strike 3. Pinned him on the outside corner. First strikeout of the day for Rollo.
We've just seen some pitching the last few years that have just, these young fellas are ahead of the maturity of and the control these guys have, and the mechanics has just been really the ability to know when it's not working right and self-correct out in the mound. That's never an easy thing to do. He is dialed in on that runner out there. And we've had some good battles between the pitcher, first base, and the runner, and the catcher, throwing a few out.
2-0 now to Thresher with 2 outs and a runner on first. Thresher had a tapper back to the pitcher Rollo his first time up. Throw over to first again. Spies continues to get back safely.
Oh, if you're a base stealer, you love this stuff. Come and get me.
This one hit hard out towards center field. Back a couple steps to make the grab is McQuirk. Hard hit ball by Thresher, right at McQuirk, and that will do it for the Giants in the third. No runs, no walks, a hit, and a runner left stranded at first. We're through 3 full here in Manchester. Third-seeded Bishop Brady leads Monadnock 1-0 in the D3 title game on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by the NFHS Network. A little bit of a breeze in the area. Temperatures have been in the low 60s most of the day. Fortunately, we've been dry, which is the biggest thing since the rain this morning knocked out the Division IV championship game, forced that contest between Epping and Woodsville postponed to tomorrow morning. Well, the other 3 games set to be played in full today. One already in the books. Division I, Exeter capturing another state crown. Their first since 2018 as they beat Winnicott 3-1. Here in Division III, Bishop Brady leads Monadnock 1-0. The third-seeded Giants looking for just their third ever state title against a Huskies team that has been in the state championship game every year since the pandemic. 5th year in a row, the Huskies have made the final. They've won it 3 of 4 times. This would be their 4th state championship in 5 years, 2nd in a row. Wesley McQuirk, Xavier Thompson, Chris Rollo due up here in the 4th. This is a sinking line drive into left field, and McQuirk will be aboard with a leadoff single here in the 4th. Just the second hit allowed by Owen Thornton.
Well, sometimes the best pitch you're going to see, Ben, is the first one. So you might as well saddle up, get in there, get out over the plate, and that's exactly what he did. This is a good piece of hitting right here. He knew when he went in there, if I get an inside right over the plate pitch, I'm going after it. So he had it pre-programmed to what he wanted. He got it, and he drilled it. Nice piece of hitting.
McQuirk hit just over 300 on the year. He's another member of the double-digit stolen base club, has a dozen on the season. So, again, Thornton has to be conscious of the running game. And he will throw over to first again. Also has to be aware of the man at the plate, Thompson, who tripled down the line into the corner his first time up.
Well, I'll tell you, that the gentleman that we saw there in the middle innings, from Winnicott.
That one skips through Guerra. And an easy advance for McQuirk. Another wild pitch thrown by Thornton. And so McQuirk into scoring position and also a 3-0 count to Thompson.
Justin Coates in that last game, that pickoff that young man has, he is going to get some batters out. Some base runners out, because he's got a great pickoff capability.
3-0 is high. 2-0 pitch.
I've been enjoying the pitching today. Each one of these guys has certain gifts. Very mature from all the pitches we've seen today as far as their demeanor out in the mound and how they fix their mistakes, their technical mistakes during the game.
2-1 count. Ground ball towards third. That's going to be in foul ground. And Bedard grabs it. Evens the count up at 2-2. Thompson, his first triple of the season down the left field line. That came with 1 out in the second inning. Set up Monadnock in position to tie the game. But then Guerra threw out Thompson at home plate, trying to score on a wild pitch. Ground ball, chopper over the mound, fielded by the shortstop Thomas. Throw is in time, but it does advance the runner, McQuirk, to third. Looked for a moment like that might get through, but once it cleared the mound, it slowed up enough, and Thomas, with good speed, cut it off.
Look at the replay here. Look at the smooth range that he has. He picks up the ball. He knows exactly where it is. He plays the hop up to his chest level, which is the best place to start your throw from, and he nails it.
So again,
Good
Skip
job.
Foy. This is actually, I believe, his assistant, Brian Verville, out to discuss the plan. Runner on third, 1 out.
You got to pull out all the stops here, from coaching to players on the field here. You got a 1-0 lead now at the top of the fourth, which means if you can get out of this, they've basically got 9 outs left to win the game, barring any more scores by Bishop Brady itself to widen that margin. It's a big deal here. Don't be surprised if you see some interesting type play here. Suicide squeeze.
Giants have the infield in again.
Yeah.
They managed to escape this situation in the second inning. Can they do it again here in the fourth?
He's got speed, though, and he's got great base. You can tell he's a good base runner.
Rollo swinging at the first pitch, fouls it back.
He's looking out of that alley out by the Campers Inn sign, and he's saying, ooh, that looks awful good right now.
Just trying to figure out any way to get that tying run in from third.
Yep.
Two teams that are used to scoring boatloads of runs, playing a white-knuckle type game today. That one in the dirt, Guerra able to keep it in front of him.
Well, 1-0's hard not to be a white-knuckle game, right? I mean, seriously, it's just
very, very little margin for error, certainly.
And if you look at the history of these teams, they've had some experience playing these type of games and winning them.
1-1. Check swing.
That's a good
called
pitch.
Strike.
Yeah, one thing I like here about Owen is he is not, he's not going to yield. He's going to go right after the strike zone when he needs it. And he pinned a nice one on the outside side of the plate right there.
1-2. Tried to go for the same pitch.
Close.
Didn't get the same call, though.
Looked a little bit. Looked like it just missed the outside edge of the plate.
Maybe a little low as well. Garrett
That's what
tried to drag it back. Sometimes some exaggerated movement from the catcher helps the umpire make the call. That one's too far inside. And now it's 3-2. Rollo walked his last time up against Thornton. Also on a 3-2 pitch. That's high, gets by Guerra. Runner coming home. Guerra slides the throw, runs into the umpire. Rollo going to stay put at first. This time the play at the plate could not be made, as once again the pitch gets by Guerra.
Well, let's take a look at this, Ben, because
McCork scores to tie the game.
Let's take a look at this. Sometimes the catcher's looking for it low, and if you saw, he was really in the double knee. He was. See if we can get that on slow motion again. I think he was looking. No, his target was up higher. He just didn't get up. Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't that he was looking for something down low, because he had his glove ready to take it on the upper inside part of the plate, and it just got by him.
To confirm at the break, that one might be charged a pass ball as opposed to a wild pitch. because Garrett did get a piece of it.
I think that's what I was trying to get at. When you look at this, I see that as a pass ball, not as a wild pitch.
And that would be deemed an unearned run.
Right.
As opposed to an earned run on a wild pitch.
Yeah, but I think that's worthy. That was definitely a catchable ball. I don't see that as a pass ball.
So here's
ball. There's a wild pitch, The
right fielder reached base after swinging on a third strike on a pitch that got by. That was a wild pitch. Throw over to first. Rollo was barely off the bag.
Yeah, Owen looks a little frustrated right now. I don't think he feels good about that run going in, obviously, and sometimes it's good just to take a walk around the plate.
Runner goes, pitch is high, a little double clutch by Guerra. Yeah. That's going to allow Rollo to be safe.
He was clearly, with an immediate gun there, he was, without any question, he was out. Watch. This split second, boom, boom, look at that. Big delay right there. He was dead to rights if he got it away right away. So, two sort of stealthy, errors by the catcher here. He's a good catcher, but those things are going to happen in games. Get a little sloppy here.
Well, this ball gets away.
Yeah, you got to tighten things up. Might be a good time for a visit to the mound. And just get these guys to, hey, everything's okay. It's 1-1. Let's not let things get out of hand. Get out of here and get up to the bat again.
Monadnock now in position to try to take the lead with a base hit.
Good heady moves at the plate here by these batters.
Swing and a miss by Ball. Strike two.
Good decision making by these guys at the plate. Monadnock's shown that year in, year out. Saw that with Exeter last game. I thought the IQ of the batters and how they handle themselves with each at bat was pretty stellar across the board.
Thornton fires in and strikes him out.
That's a big out right there.
Ball goes looking. Strikeout number 4 for Owen Thornton.
Yep, that's a big out.
2 down now in the inning for the 9-hitter Chase Elliott, who was himself a strikeout victim, swinging last time.
Wow, that's a nice pitch. I don't know what he was looking for there. Yeah.
Probably not that.
Just froze him.
Rollo at second with 2 outs. 2 walks, 2 steals for the Monadnock starting pitcher at the plate. Hoping he is the go-ahead run here as Thornton twirls off the mound and draws Rollo back to the bag. Huskies have tied it here in the 4th inning thanks to a couple wild pitches. A wild pitch and a pass ball. Elliott out in front of that one, fouls it off. He'll be behind in the count, 0-1. Elliott, hard ground ball, snared by Thomas at short. The throw across, not in time.
Not in time, but great effort. I actually think he had a better possibility at third than he did at first, to be honest with you. But we'll take a look at this thing again.
I mean, just to keep this one in the infield might have saved a run.
Well, there's no question. It was a great play either way. But I really believe if you look at where the runner was right there, he had him. His third baseman was in position, but he wanted to go all the way. That's a long way to go deep in the hole. He's a good shortstop. Look at that. See, right there? I think he had him at third base. Would have taken a good throw, but it was right there, and he was back in position. So
by keeping that in the infield may have
there's no
denied
question.
Rollo a chance to score the go-ahead run. Either way, the Monadnock still threatening. Runners on the corners with 2 out and back to the top of the order for Kobe Kidney.
Well, Ben, I think you can count on the fact he would have scored. That was a slow roller in the outfield, would have had plenty of time to score.
Thornton sends it just outside for a ball. Kidney's hit the ball hard twice, but he's hit it to outfielders. Once to right, once to center.
No matter what, the Huskies will go out of this inning feeling good they tied the game up, but there'll be some mild disappointment if they can't bring this runner across, because you can almost feel it, the momentum shift here a little bit towards the Husky side here as they have this productive inning as far as 1 run and more to come. Good job staying off of it. You may load the bases.
In the dirt. Garrow able to block that one.
Well, the question is what do you do right now? What does Kobe do right now where he's got a 2-0 count? I think they're going to talk about it right now. He's going to have a discussion with what to do here. They could be either doing some sort of a double steal and program, making sure he does the right thing, or could be bunting, or just kind of giving him a little bit of instruction on, go opposite field.
Bunt with 2 outs would be a bit of a gamble, but again, the way Monadnock runs might not be the worst thing in the world.
I don't know. It's a bad one thing for sure is I think if he throws it in his lane, I think he wants him to go. Nope.
That's down and away.
Yeah, that's not the pitch right there that Owen wanted. You want to get a strike, and now you're up to 2-1 here. You're behind on the account. I don't see any signs coming from the third base coach. So
this one punched. Thomas lines it up.
Yeah, got out of the inning. We got a game here, Ben.
Thornton able to get out of the jam, but he does give up the tying run. It scores on a pass ball. And we are even 1-1 going to the bottom of the fourth.
Good job, Owen, getting out of that.
2 hits and a walk in the inning for the Huskies. And again, they leave a runner stranded. They've left a runner on base every inning so far.
Yep.
And 3 of the 5 have been in scoring position for Monadnock. So something to keep an eye on going forward. As Rollo will come out to start his warm-up tosses here for the bottom of the 4th inning. And an opportunity for Bishop Brady to respond in kind. And Thornton will have a chance right off the jump. He's leading off here in the bottom of the 4th, followed by Goudreau and Bosch. You talked about right off the top, this is a Monadnock team filled with championship experience, and so often we've seen them really grow into games, especially in the late innings.
Well, we said that
might
in the
be
beginning.
The case. Yeah, exactly. That might be the case here with Rollo. Tough first inning. Got out of that bases loaded jam, only giving up 1.
Yep.
Since then, he's only allowed 1 hit and a walk and has not allowed a runner in scoring position.
Well, I think a lot of that's lended itself to the fact he's had the pitch count in his favor almost every single time. You see some 2-2s, you see some 1-2s, 0-2s, 3-2s maybe, but he's always been 1 pitch away from a strikeout when it mattered. And, once he'd get to 2 strikes pretty early. He also was able to jam a lot of hitters and just kind of keep them off pace a little bit. But every inning in the 4th and 5th is benefit to the team that their starting pitcher can stay in there long and be effective.
First pitch to Thornton was low. You don't get the sense either that he's coming out of the game anytime soon.
No, you don't. But the 4th inning is really the inning you want to start watching that. What's his velocity? How's he coming off the mound? He's looking good. Look at that. Nice play.
Makes a nice play, catching up to that dribbler, and tosses to first to get the out. Thornton retired 1-3.
Seems to be a very mission-oriented guy. He's very, very focused on fundamentals. He really has if you're going to look at a prototype of a pitcher, he's got that perfect lean, tall build and athleticism, as you just showed there out in the field. But he's got a great delivery. I know. Nice pitch. Wow. Oh, that wasn't a strike?
Goudreau takes it outside for a ball.
Wow. That was close.
Rollo wants to take a moment to wonder where that one missed.
Yeah. Yeah, but he got it back there.
Goudreau grounded out to second his first time up. That was with the bases loaded in the 1st inning.
He's got to be careful here. What happens sometimes you start getting, okay, I'm almost there. I'm almost at my point. So good pitch there. But he wants to maintain that same pace that he had before. Don't rush things and try to get out the door. Oh, nice pitch.
2-2 grounded to second, gobbled up there by Jackson Blood, who will make the toss on to first for the out.
That's a good job by
2 down in the inning now. As Bosch comes in. Lined out to left his first time up.
No question, tying it up 1-1 gives Rollo a good feeling himself. His team got a run. Could have got more, but he got that main run to tie it up. Now he feels like he's got something to protect and something to strive for because his offense got the run on the board they needed. So,
looking for that quick inning to get the bats back up to the plate as well.
yes.
Bosch takes high and tight, 1-1. Grounder up the middle. Bertolami charges. Oh, it slipped underneath.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. It's those slow bounders. He was way deep in the hole. We got a replay. Watch how deep in the hole he is. You're going to see it here. Well, maybe not on this one, but he had to come in a long way. I mean, yeah, he was really deep. There, you got to see it right there. Watch. He was on the grass.
That looked like it may have caught the lip, too.
Yeah, I think it did catch the lip, but he was so far back. By the time he ran, I think he thought it was gonna pop up, but it did make kind of a funky bounce. That was a tough one to field.
So that does extend the inning for the DH McCurley. Took strike one. Now takes strike two. That's that knuckler.
Yeah, that one. That's what you want. Starts out over the plate and then goes away and hits off the corner.
Yeah, McCurley had no thoughts about swinging at that.
No. He thought he was going to have to duck. Next thing you know, when it's going across the outside of the plate for a strike. Nice pitch.
So now the 0-2. Fouled to the backstop. He chased the high heater there.
And again, we talk about this all the time. One thing Rollo's been able to do, take a look at these pitch counts. Every one are even 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, an occasional 3-2, but you haven't seen any 3-1s and 3-0s there. And that's been a big part of the reason why he's had a little advantage against the batter. That's it.
Called strike three.
He's
and Rollo fired up.
Yep.
After that strikeout to end the inning.
Yep.
Not quite a perfect inning, but close. No runs, no walks, no hits, an error. And a runner left stranded for Bishop Brady. We're through 4 here in Manchester. Tied at 1-1 here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, and the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Looks like we're getting a pitching change here for Bishop Brady. Jack Speece has come out to start throwing here in the 5th inning. So, just as we said, it didn't look like Rollo was going anywhere anytime soon. Obviously, Skip Foy feeling like Thornton maybe had reached his limit. So he decides to make the change middle of the inning. And Speece will come in from center field. Mm-hmm. And will take over on the mound. 4 innings for Thornton. He only allowed 3 hits, did allow a run. It was earned. They determined that was a wild pitch that allowed the runner McQuirk to score last inning. He walked 4 and struck out 4.
Did a great job. One of the things that happens when you bring in a pitcher, you try to get a high school pitcher through the 5th inning. And then hopefully you can go into the 6th, but usually you want a good 5 innings. You got 3 innings to go here, and Monadnock's got 3 sets of at-bats. It's very important for him to start well. Needless to say that he's got to have his stuff. Can't walk batters. Hopefully for Bishop Brady, he's ready.
Misses down and away to Sumner Hill Goodell. 2-3-4 in the Monadnock order here in the 5th. In a 1-1 game. We'll have to wait and see what the other defensive changes are for Bishop Brady.
Yes. I mean, honestly, I'm a little surprised that Owen's out this inning. I thought he was pitching well, and I would have tried to grab a 5th out of him and then maybe put it in for 6th and 7th, get a little bit longer view of what the ultimate score challenge is going to be in the last 2 innings. But
Everything downstairs so far to Hill
I gotta
Goodell.
tell you, that looked like a pretty good pitch right there. But you know what? Steve is being consistent with his strike zone, and that's all you can ask for.
3-0 pitch again, below the knees.
Yep.
So Hill Goodell works his second walk.
Always a risk putting a relief pitcher in, but one of the things that when it's a 1-1 game or a 1-run game like this, a pitcher can, just like a quarterback can have or a goalie struggling, it can have a huge impact very quickly in a game like this. And Monadnock is not a team that you want to give light to.
Throw over to first. Hill Goodell back safely. This has been a very patient Monadnock team, not afraid to work the count, work the walk. So. They have drawn a walk every single inning so far.
Yeah, they've got a great, like Exeter, great job with the strike zone management.
Throw over to first. Hill Goodell again back safely.
But if they can get the next out, get the lead runner out, get a pop fly or something like that, then things can come right back in line. But nice pitch.
That one right down the middle for a strike to Bertolami. So it looks like Thornton has gone to short.
Yep. Did a good job.
And Thomas has moved over to second base.
Oh boy, nice job by the first baseman. They had to pull that one down.
Bertolami shows bunt, pulls it back. Pitch was down and in. So just trying to get squared away on all the defensive changes for Bishop Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Speece comes in from center to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Thornton, the pitcher, moves to shortstop. And Thomas
goes to center.
Goes to second from short.
Right, from center, yeah.
And it remains to be seen as if Goodrow moved out to center field. Hard to see the center fielder's number when he's staring you in the face from, a few hundred feet away. Throw over to first again. Again, Hill Goodell dives back in. You feel for his family who has to do the laundry on the uniform after a day like this. He must have dived back to first base almost 24 times.
I grew up to, Tide and other commercials.
Runner goes. Bertolami pulls back the bunt, and Hill Goodell slides in without a throw.
Was that a ball, too?
Yep, pitch was low.
Yeah, that's his.
I think Garrett trying to argue that Bertolami kind of stayed with that bat out front may have interfered.
He did, yeah. But he didn't attempt to make a throw either. So if you're gonna go the interference, you got to go at least try to make a throw.
Third stolen base today for the Huskies. Bertolami fouls it to the right side out of play.
Yeah, he needed that strike. They need an out here. You start getting runners in scoring position with nobody out. That usually doesn't lead to good outcomes. So this is a real critical time here for both teams, but specifically for Bishop Brady to doing a good job keeping the shortstop out of position with a right-handed batter here.
Called strike three, breaking ball right over the middle. Froze Bertolami there.
He needed it, and he fired a beautiful pitch. Look at the break on that pitch. He froze him right there. Started in the inside of the plate. He says, there's no way that's a strike. And that is a big pitch right there. Good job.
For a veteran like Bertolami, tough to handle that.
That's what they needed, though. And that's going to help him settle down.
Here's the DH Williams, who was scuffled today, 0 for 2. Struck out swinging both times against Thornton. So if nothing else, he's happy to see a new pitcher.
Absolutely.
Hill Goodell at second after a leadoff walk and a steal.
He needs a strike.
Williams trailed on that one. 1-1 for the DH.
Starting to settle in. He's starting to play. Starting to throw the ball with a little bit more form. Getting it in the strike zone area.
That one just a little bit high.
Close. It's a tight strike zone, but it's been consistent.
Huskies searching for the go-ahead run here. Williams chases that one down.
2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Remember, Spieth had that big 18 strikeout game during the regular season.
Wow.
So he can
He's starting to come together now.
definitely draw the swings and misses.
Yeah, he's coming to the plate with.
See if he goes to that breaking ball again.
I bet you he throws the heat.
And it is a fastball, foul tipped into the mitt. Guerra holds on, back-to-back strikeouts for Spieth.
You're beginning to see why. Look at the velocity in this ball right here. Yeah, there was never a chance really right there. He had him kind of jammed in. You could see his hands were kind of jammed on the inside of his torso, up around his chest. That's a nice pitch right there.
Saw that Guerra actually did drop it, but then applied the tag quickly. That one bounces off Guerra, off the
going.
hitter. Hilgedell going for third, and he'll reach safely. Another pitch in the dirt that gets through.
All right, well, we could be looking at now, when you look at the way this game's going, where home plate has been real hard to reach, we could be looking at right now the run that wins this game. Long way to go still, but.
That one again near the dirt. Guerra able to stay in front of it.
Yeah,
it'll take something here from McQuirk, or, as we saw how Monadnock scored the first time around, wild pitch, which some of these pitches that Guerra is calling for down low.
I still contend that was a pass ball.
Having to fight a lot of them. But aside from that one, which was the one that missed high, Guerra is really having to do a lot of hard work with these pitches low in the dirt.
He needs a strike here. Nope,
that
doesn't
went
get
down
it.
and away.
So this becomes a hitter's count right here. Gives him more options. That allows him to choose. When I see what I want, I'm going to swing, but he doesn't control me for being forced to swing with a 2-0 count. Gives a hitter a great advantage.
And that's inside. So McQuirk walks on 4 straight.
Actually, that was 3-0. Excuse me.
Runners on the corners.
Just going by the scoreboard here.
So Xavier Thompson will step in. Monadnock's leading hitter, 1 for 2 today with a triple and a ground out. Chance to deliver the go-ahead run here for the Huskies in the top of the 5th.
Well, you got a force at second, which makes an infield ground ball, gives another option. But you like you just said, you wind up with your hot hitter coming up.
Thompson
he got a nice
strike.
job by the catcher. Is the same catcher in the game as
still
before?
Guerra.
Still Xavier?
Well, Guerra. Thompson, the catcher for Monadnock.
I'm sorry, Brady. I'm looking at the wrong. Yeah. That's a nice job there, framing that pitch.
Swing and a miss. Thompson out in front of that breaking ball.
Yeah, he pulled the string on that one. Well, if this is any indication of him getting stronger and stronger, Spieth, I'm talking about, this could be, and they get out of this inning, this could be a good thing for Bishop Brady, because he's getting stronger as he's going along.
Runner goes.
Nice pitch.
Thompson takes low. No throw from Guerra.
That was good job laying off that pitch. It started in the strike zone and then went down low. Now 2 runs in scoring position. Nice. You got 0-2. Why not run, right? With 2 out.
It's 4 steals now for Monadnock.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch. Just upstairs.
He wanted to call it, and he said, nope, not good enough. Nice little friendly conversation going on between.
Protests from the Bishop Brady side. Now they've been a little off the
Guerin,
point as well.
Guerin and Steve, a nice discussion going there. Boy, he is all over the top of that plate, Ben. Look at him, right over it.
2-2. That one close, but not quite.
Well,
tried to go with a changeup there, it looked like. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
What do you do here? Do you just give them nothing and put them on, get a force everywhere, and then get rid of their top batter? Or
Rolo on deck has been almost as tough. He's walked twice.
It's a relentless order.
So he's another guy who will really manage the pitcher work.
Yep, he sure will. Here we go.
Thompson trying to deliver the lead for the Huskies.
Called
strike 3.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one.
Fastball on the inside corner, froze him. Third strikeout of the inning for Jack Spees.
That was really important for them to get out of with no run, that being Bishop Brady. And you got to give this young pitcher a lot of credit. He threw a dart right down in the low inside corner. Catcher knew it. He knew it was gone. Look, watch him. Watch the catcher. He knew it. Held it right in place. Give Max Guerin a lot of credit right there for framing that earlier pitch, which was critical to get to the strikeout.
So in the
Did
end,
a nice job.
Again, Monadnock threatens but does not score. Spees ends up striking out the side, working his way around a couple walks, a couple wild pitches, a couple stolen bases. A little bit of danger alarms going off, but in the end, Monadnock strands two more on base. They have had a runner stranded every inning, and they have left 7 on base over 5 innings, a lot of those in scoring position.
Yeah, it was perfectly fine. You take a pitcher out after the 4th inning and you put a new guy, but Spees has clearly got the range. He got stronger as the inning went on. Right now, Bishop Brady looking and feeling a lot better. Now they've got a brand new pitcher in who's got loads of pitches left in his account. He's getting stronger. Took out the meat of the order right there. Took on Monadnock's meat of the order, and they got to be feeling good. You could see there was a sense of relief there once he found the strike zone.
Well, let's turn that sort of thought process around a little bit and turn it over to the Monadnock side. If you're head coach Tom Cody, you've stranded 7 runners, 5 of those in scoring position.
Yep.
You've only gotten the 1 run across. You've been in this situation so many times. Do you just feel like, look, if we just keep pushing the advantage, eventually the dam will break? Or do you sort of rue the missed opportunities that have already come?
Just like so many things in sports, the pitcher is the defining factor. I think the pitcher that can finish the strongest is going to win this game. And you're going to tell you're going to start watching pitch counts and things like that. We're not going to see a ball go over the fence here. That's just not going to happen. So there's going to have to be some earning of multiple at-bats to get a run in, play some small ball maybe to help advance the runners. But to me, it's really about these 2 pitches of who's going to finish the strongest.
We'll see. Rolo's been working well as of late.
He has.
He has only allowed 1 base runner each of the last 3 innings. But he's got to deal with the top of the order, which has been the strongest part for the Giants. Thomas, Guerra, Spees, all 3 have a hit today, as does Bedard, who drove in the only run for the Giants.
Keep in mind, this is a sophomore out on the mound right now, and he's playing in a championship baseball game, and he's doing well.
Thomas grounds out to third to start the inning. Yeah, Rolo really the number 2 man on the staff. Thrown 35-plus innings now, but still hadn't thrown even half as many as his teammate, Caden Smith.
Yep.
But it's Rolo who was trusted with the ball today. You wonder if, there's something going on with Smith, maybe not eligible, maybe
don't know.
Banged up after the semifinal, who knows? But Rolo looking to carry the torch here. That one catches the corner. Guerra up at the plate, 1 for 2, singled in the first. Was left stranded at third to end the inning. Grounded out to short his last time up. There's that knuckler. That was a little closer, but still off the plate.
Little bit high and outside, I think, as it came in late.
2-1 the count. Fastball driven foul.
He brings that literally straight over the top in his delivery. And he accelerates as the delivery advances to the finish. He really accelerates, gets a lot of pop on the ball.
That one's high. Three and 2 now the count. That one just off the plate.
Yeah, he's not going to give him that. Yep.
First walk allowed by Rolo since the 2nd inning, his 3rd overall. So Bishop Brady gets a runner on with 1 out. Now to the pitcher, Spees.
Jack's got an opportunity to help himself.
Singled his last time up. That pitch in for a strike. Rolo's really grown into this game after
Yeah.
a tough first inning, but you gave up a run. Still managed to strand the bases loaded. Throw over to first.
That was
Almost
close.
got Garrow
Yeah.
sleeping there.
Yeah, he wanted that.
Throw over may have been a tad high, but even still very close to picking off Guerra there.
No.
Knuckler well off the plate there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he goes through phases where he really struggles to get that anywhere near the plate. It's almost giving him a free ball, you know. But when he starts working on his high velocity stuff, uses location, then just pulls some string with off speed. Yeah.
Well, even the best knuckleball pitchers will tell you it's a very difficult pitch to really gain some semblance of control over. And so when you've got a young player still presumably really working on it, even at this level.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to be any sort of reliable
No question.
type pitch.
Knucklers tend to do well against aggressive batting orders, and because they want to hit like that.
Spieth stayed back on it, sends it out to deep center field, but it'll hang up in time for McQuirk.
Exactly what Jack needed right there. I mean, what Rolo needed right there.
So Spieth flies out to center, 2 down in the inning. Here comes Bedard, the third baseman. RBI single in the first, struck out looking in the third. You see, Spieth was able to read it well, sat back on it. He just got a little too much air under it in the end.
No doubt.
Knuckleball misses low.
Yep. You also love umpires that have a wide strike zone when you're knuckler, because when that happens, that really gives you the advantage. Oh, he's giving him that. Wow.
Catches the top of the zone for a strike. 1-1 now to Bedard.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Got him on the inside corner that time with the knuckler.
Meanwhile,
And Bedard just left shaking his head.
Bedard just shaking his head. It was
What
good.
do you want me to do with that?
Good. Exactly. Can't help that. It's a big one for Rolo right here.
Looking for another quick inning.
Why not grab
to the heat?
Yeah, nothing wrong with grabbing a little outside edge, off the edge. And now he's got to come back with it. Yeah, he's going to go with it. Whatever the catcher wants, he's doing it.
2-2. Fastball grounded toward third, but foul. Skip Foy hoping his offense, which has been unbelievable all year long, can find a way to break through here in the late innings.
Yep.
Another 2-2 missed inside. Giants have not had multiple runners on base since the first inning.
Don't rush this. If you Rolo, you coach for Rolo, you want him to just walk around the mound, take all the time you need. Here we go.
Guerra's off.
No.
Knuckler missed well outside.
No.
Not even tempting for Bedard there.
Don't get that pitch at a 3-2 count. The margin for error to walk is just too. You put a man in scoring position. The kid's got good heat. Bring the heat. Bring a high percentage strike zone. I don't know.
Second walk of the inning. 2 on with 2 out for the Giants here. And the first baseman, Henry Thresher, who has grounded out and flied out.
Yeah, he really wants to get out of this inning right here and put in a good 5. But I'm watching a little bit of fatigue here. Let's see how he comes through.
Fastball missed up and in.
Yeah. You watch a tired pitcher will start to rush the ball and start trying to force it. And they start anticipating, I'm almost out. You got to stay in there and let it happen. Let's see what if he can come back with a strike here. Yeah.
This one driven down to the left field line. Grabbed!
What a catch!
An unbelievable diving catch by Chase Elliott!
I hope we get some good replays on this. This is a game saver right here.
Flex it out indeed, young man.
Arguably, Ben, would you agree that was two-run
That is
save right there?
absolutely a run, if not 2. This should be a web gem.
Look at that. Wow. That was a fair ball for sure.
You won't see many better catches on this field this entire baseball season. Chase Elliott.
Look at that.
Highway robbery against Henry Thresher. Keeps it a 1-1 game.
You're going to see it right here. If John gets around on that camera, and he does. Great job, John. Great job, Matt.
Take a breath.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back in a minute.
Woo!
Welcome back to Delta Dental Stadium here in Manchester, along with Steve Beals. I'm Ben Ulcher. Producer Ben Beals back in studio here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, and the NFHS Network. Tied 1-1 between third-seeded Bishop Brady and fifth-seeded Monadnock. As we go to the top of the sixth inning, Giants got the early run in the first. Monadnock answered thanks to a wild pitch in the fourth inning. We've been knotted at 1 ever since, and we are only still knotted at 1 thanks to the unbelievable defense of Chase Elliott. A diving catch in left field to rob Henry Thresher of extra bases and maybe a couple runs. Bottom of the order for the Huskies of Monadnock here in the top of the sixth. Rollo, Ball, and Elliott. Rollo, line drive out to center. This is Goodrow, the former second baseman. He is, in fact, now manning center field, and he'll pull it in for out number 1. Jack Spiess out for his second full inning of relief work. Took over for Owen Thornton after the senior went 4 innings, allowed just the 1 earned run, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, had a few wild pitches mixed in there as well. Spiess yanks that one down and away. Ball 1 to Nick Ball, who has struck out twice but reached base the first time around on a wild pitch on what was strike 3. That one's outside as well, so Ball starts in front 2-0 here. More walks than hits for Monadnock in this ball game.
Well, they earned them.
They've had at least a walk every inning. 6 in total. They only have 3 hits. That one a called strike on 3-0. One error for the Huskies in the field. For Bishop Brady, they're more the other direction. They've got their 1 run on 4 hits. They have walked 4 times and no errors for the Giants. 1 out walk for Ball, so again, another inning, another walk for the Huskies. Third one allowed by Spiess. He gave up 2 last inning, ended up striking out the side anyway. So here's Elliott, who made that unbelievable catch.
Nice pitch.
He'll take strike 1 on the outside corner.
Yeah, Spiess hit. He's really settled down since the first couple of batters he started. He really got himself his delivery squared away. He's got good chemistry now between he and his catcher.
Runner goes. Elliott takes. Pitch high. Throw down. Not in time. Another stolen base for Monadnock, their 5th. It's a team that came in with over 100 steals on the year.
Yeah, I think he pulled a quad here. Yeah, he pulled a quad pretty bad.
Ball.
What a shame. It happens, though.
Call for the coaches.
Yeah, maybe it'll loosen up by the time he gets it.
You can see him pulling at that right leg, trying to flex it out.
Yeah, it's not really the ideal situation when you're in a run-scoring position. You really see if we can see when he got it pulled up lame here.
They're going to let him try to work it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to walk it off. It may have been in the collision with the bag.
Might have been.
Yeah. Immediately go to the back of that right hamstring.
Yeah, he's already. Let's see how he runs here. See if it ends up playing as a factor. No.
Swing and a miss. Elliott chasing after that one, but down in the count 1-2.
I think you might be right, Ben. I think he hit the bat up on his tail end there as he came up through with his legs coming up, because it looks to me like he's running back pretty well there.
Elliott fans.
What a nice pitch there. That's a nice piece of pitching on him. Moving the ball in and out. Look at this, working the outside of the plate. Yeah.
Well, he just unable to lay off. Fourth strikeout for Spiess in 2 innings.
Yeah.
2 down now for Kobe Kidney.
You can see why this young man get 18 strikeouts, because he's a strikeout type pitcher. He's got power. Yep.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Just blows one past Kidney there for strike 1.
Yeah, Kidney was looking at that Brewhouse Manchester sign out there.
Huskies leadoff man 0 for 3.
That was a
2
full
flyouts and a line out. That one down and away. Nice stab there by Guerra.
Guerra, yeah.
If he doesn't pick that one, ball is easily at third.
Good catcher is almost always needs to be on a championship team. You've got to have a good catcher.
We've seen 2 of them in this game for sure.
They do so much out in the field, but behind the scenes with their
throw back
staff.
to second. Ball almost got caught leaning.
Yep. Well, he's done a good job staying for the most part. He's got the batters out that he needed to get out, and he stayed pretty good in the pitch count. Falling behind a few, but there it is.
This one hit high in the air. Not all that deep. Racing in. That's going to drop inside the Bermuda Triangle of 2 outfielders. And it looks like someone's shaking up out there.
This had communication problems written all over it from the start. You got 3 players going at it. Somebody's got to take command early, and I think it was the right fielder that. Well, no, there was nobody taking. Yeah, somebody. The second baseman, if in fact the right fielder called that ball, number 7, Wynn
Thomas
has got to lay off that ball. Now let's see if he usually put the glove in the air. Yeah.
It's the right fielder, Dan Shedd, who ended up down after the play.
Nothing definitive that the outfielder called the ball, but if he didn't, it's kind of like the infielder's going to keep going for it. But if he did, then you got to lay off. You got to just either stop or run away.
Spent a long time in the air, but nobody could clearly get under it. And as soon as those defenders all converge on one another,
he took a shot.
See, it was going to be trouble.
He's holding his nose. He took a shot. All effort, all heart going after the ball, but I didn't see. Again, we don't hear it, so we don't know. But I didn't see anybody make any hand gesture, or specifically the right fielder, and he clearly would have been able to get that ball if if a collision wasn't hitting, coming right at him. He had to look, took his attention off of it. So hopefully he's okay. And this right now, that play you just saw is a difference maker right now with a margin in the game. So, and in these sort of games where it's just so evenly matched, it's got to be usually something like this that's a difference maker. This game's far from over. We're only at the top of the 6th inning, 2 full innings essentially to play, or 1 1/3 for one of the teams, but still they've got the lead right now, and a lead in a game like this is a big thing.
Shedd did end up making contact with the ball. He tried to, as you saw, slide and basket catch. It bounced off his chest.
But if you see it again, he was protecting himself as he was good. He didn't have he had to double concentrate on getting hit at the same time. So
the go-ahead run scores on the bloop RBI single for Kobe Kidney. Monadnock has the 2-1 lead here in the top of the 6th. And Shedd forced to exit the game. The designated hitter, John McCurley, comes in, so Bishop Brady will lose the DH, throw behind the runner, Kidney at first.
Remember, protocol in baseball is the infielder keeps going after it. That's his job until he clearly gets called off. And usually there's a hand signal with a hand in the air, but mostly it's a vocal call to say, I've got it. But you got to scream it and let him know. And then if the infield doesn't get out of the way, then that's his fault. But I did not see a hand gesture of any type, but we don't know, like I said before, if he had a verbal call on the ball. But the outfielder has predominance, but he's got to make that decision to call it.
This one down and away to Sumner Hill Goodell, who has been aboard twice today. walking both times, also lined out to short. Huskies trying to apply more pressure here in the 6th. Kidney at first with 2 outs. Big lead here. And Spies will just eyeball him back this time.
Yeah,
after a few throws over.
Colby Kidney out there, he is attempting to really cause havoc with the...
Guerra throws back to first. Kidney dives back in safe. Boy, his secondary lead's taking him almost halfway to second base.
This is like when a guy's up to putt, make a 10-foot putt while you're rattling your change around in your pocket, trying to stop him or talking or, making noises, because what he's doing is he's trying to rattle the cage of the pitching battery.
Runner
Look at
does
that.
not go this time.
Try to keep people up. Sorry, Ben.
Bluffing every time.
Yeah, well, he is. This is as much about causing havoc with a pitching battery as it is with stealing a base. Get people off balance, multiple thinking, confuse them. He's doing a great job at it right now. Look at him. He's going to go out and check.
3-1, missed outside, so.
I give Kobe a lot of credit towards that walk right there. Now he's in scoring position.
Freshman Hill Goodell walks for the 3rd time. 2 on, 2 out, and now to Bertolami. 0 for 2 today with a line out, a strikeout, and a walk.
Now that was excellent small ball type work. The little things that we talked about earlier that don't show up. This is just smart baseball, what you saw Kobe doing out there. And he has the athletic ability to irritate you. There used to be a player on the Yankees called Mickey Rivers. I don't know if you ever heard that name down the thing, but he used to drive pitchers crazy on the base pass if he got on.
Bertolami ducks and takes a strike.
Nice pitch there.
Same
Again,
pitch I think
age,
that
Ben.
Spies froze him on to strike him out last time. Kidney at second, Hill Goodell at first. 2 down in the inning. Bertolami fouls it off.
A little bit of a
Might
late.
have caught a piece of Guerra there.
Yeah, a little bit of a late decision there. He liked it at the end once it dropped in over the plate.
Home plate umpire Steve McCormick going to give Guerra a moment there.
Yep.
After he got hit on his offhand.
Steve's called it a tight strike zone tonight, but it's been 100% pretty, what I've seen, if not 100%, pretty close to perfect consistency of what he's looking for a strike, and that's really all the pitcher needs to know. Just call it consistent, and he's done that.
Throw to
He's got
second.
him. He's got him. Oh.
Safe is Kidney.
Wow. Can we see that again?
Definitely close with the shortstop Thornton over and
try to
covering.
slow it down if you can. I know I'm asking a lot. I think he was out.
It was certainly a deliberate call by the third base umpire Mark Craig, but
well, he was
ruled him
shielded from the
safe.
tag, though. He didn't have a great look at it. He was in position. He's where he's supposed to be. But if you don't know, call him safe. And he did that. But to me, on the replay, it looked like he might have got his arm before he hit the bag. Nice pitch.
Called strike 3.
What a
it won't
nice
matter.
pitch.
Spies gets Bertolami looking for the second time in as many at-bats. He is out of the jam in the 6th, but Monadnock, looking for their second straight title, has the lead 2-1.
Look at this pitch.
Going to the bottom of the 6th.
He just completely froze him. Look at that. No. That. Look at he's trying to back up out of the way. You live and die by crowding the plate. He was right over the plate in this situation. Watch this. He comes in with a great breaking ball, and he just freezes him in place. What a great pitch.
Well, now the pressure turns over to the Giants. Again, this is a Bishop Brady team that has blown out teams for a good chunk of the season. They have not scored fewer than 4 runs in a game at any point this year. The only time during the regular season they were scoring routinely in double digits, their lowest total at any game was 6. So far, they've been held to 1 run over 5 innings.
They're playing the Monadnock Huskies, and that's the reason why.
Well, they scored 10 the first time. They were 6 the first time they played them. So
all right. Well, this is championship baseball. And
different scenario.
I would
for
argue
sure.
that the Huskies not only progress during a game from start to finish, they progress throughout the season. And when you get to this time of year, it just that they've risen to the occasion year after year. There is a little bit of a I don't know if I call it a dynasty, but a consistency that they have when you get to the postseason.
Well, they're definitely on
they
it.
play a different level of ball.
3 titles in 4 years. I think you can definitely call that a dynasty. They're going for 4
That's hard
and
to
5. They've been in the championship game every single year since COVID.
Yep.
Rollo trying to pitch him to another title. He's got to get 6 more outs and gets a swing and a foul tip from Thornton here to start the 6th inning.
For our folks out there that don't know, this is a sophomore, this young man. Think about that now. He's a sophomore. Look at that pitch. Wow.
Knuckleball hit out to center. Backpedaling is McQuirk. He'll reel it in for out number 1.
Yep. I think after that last inning, Ben, Rollo came off the field so amped up. I think it just has given him the adrenaline to want to stay in another inning. He's in the 6th inning now with 1 out. Pitched 6 in the 3rd innings.
Got that huge diving catch from Chase
5
Elliott
1/3.
in left field. Kept at least 1, probably 2 runs off the board.
This is a pitcher, a prospect that you want to watch in the years to come because he's got a lot of he's so mechanically sound, and as he said, he's got the God-given characteristics from physiology that he's built like a pitcher that has low impact, and he's going to be able to pitch a lot of innings because he's not going to outthrow his arm. He's got great delivery. He's got great mechanics. That knee coming back really shields the ball very well from batters.
Down in the count, 3-1 to Colton Goodrow. Trying to jumpstart the Giants'
Nice
offense.
pitch.
He'll take a strike.
Wow, he's fun to watch.
3-2. Giants have not had a hit since the 3rd inning. 3-2 on the way. Foul tipped. Goodrow just forced to fight that one off.
He's got to take a little walk around the mound, slow it down.
Giants have had a base runner each inning since then, but it's been either via walk or error. Goodrow in foul ground. This will make its way over the netting.
Yep.
The good news for Bishop Brady is they are assured of getting the top of the order back up here at some point. But it may not happen until the 7th. Goodrow, soft liner. Bertolami took a short hop on him. He couldn't quite get to it quickly enough to make the catch on the line drive. And once that ball hit the dirt,
big sigh of relief from the Bishop Brady bench and fan base out there. They know how important it is to get that tying run on base. I thought it was going to be a line drive that he's going to catch in the air. Look at this thing. It just dies. And it's short. It's a real hard short hop there right there. That's tough. Just got to keep it in front of you.
So base hit for Goodrow. 1 on with a runner out. First hit since the 3rd inning for the Giants.
He's got some speed. We'll see if he goes.
Their 5th hit overall. Swing and a foul tip by Ryan Bosch. He is 0 for 2 today.
Yep.
A line out. And they reached on an error. A ball that escaped under the glove of Bertolami. One is a called strike. Getting towards the evening hours, here just after 6 o'clock in Manchester. Still have one more game coming up for you. Probably going to be a little bit after 7 o'clock at this point between the top 2 seeds in Division 2. Sauhegan the 1 seed, John Stark the 2 seed. Knuckleball, punch towards center. Bertolami couldn't quite make the over-the-shoulder catch. And that'll land for a base hit. Back-to-back singles by the 7 and 8 hitters. And the Giants will threaten with 1 out here in the 6th.
Tape measures working in Bishop Brady's advantage right now. I mean, these are 2 potential outs that were just outside. But you know what? They're doing what it takes to get it done. They're getting their bat on the ball. And they're not doing pop-ups. They're hitting a little soft line drives, but they're falling in for them. So give them credit.
This was how they built their lead in the 1st inning.
Correct.
You know, hitting the ball not necessarily out of the infield, but just into holes and allowing guys to reach.
Well, when you're facing a pitcher of this caliber, you'll take that because what you're doing is you're getting your bat in the ball against a pitcher.
Here's McCurley. He'll send this one out towards center. McQuirk will line it up. Goodrow will bluff a tag, but will stay put at second. So McCurley flies out. Remember, no more DH now. McCurley playing right field after the injury to Shed.
True.
So 2 down in the inning, but back to the top of the order for Wid Thomas. He is 2 for 3 today with a couple singles. Scored the only run for Bishop Brady. He also was caught stealing.
Yep.
He'll take a knuckler outside for ball 1. This is where the Giants want to be with runners on base. Thomas takes inside 2-0. Bishop Brady trying to answer after Monadnock took the lead top half of this inning. Thomas will take outside and low, ball 3. Thomas very much in the driver's seat here, can load the bases. We'll look for something to hit. Thomas takes all the way, it's high, ball 4.
Wow. Well, I can report to you that the Portsmouth Clippers are the Division II state champions of New Hampshire boys lacrosse. Congratulations to Coach Fisher and the Portsmouth Clippers for a very, it looked like it was 5-5 towards the in the fourth quarter there. Don't know what the final score is. I'd have to run through it a little longer, but congratulations again to the Portsmouth Clippers. And that's a big victory for the school. That lacrosse program has been right in there at the end. I would argue that they're Division I caliber. Both of those teams, really, Derryfield and them. But congratulations to Portsmouth, a job well done.
6-5, you see the final there.
And Derryfield, up until then, an undefeated season. So congratulations to Coach Hetler as well and his group on the successful season that they had as well. In there every year.
Great battle in Division II year in, year out between those two schools. Tom Cody jogging back to the Monadnock dugout after a meeting with his sophomore Chris Rollo, trying to work around a bases-loaded jam for the second time today and keep Monadnock in front.
And for those of you who want to watch that game, looked like it was a great one from the quick highlights that I saw. Subscribe to NFHS Network, and or I think in a couple days it should be on our Friday Night Lights broadcast at FNLNHmedia.com. FNLNHmedia.com. So congratulations again to Portsmouth.
Max Guerra in an 0-1 count calls time. Guerra's been aboard twice today, a single in the first, a walk in the fifth. Swinging at this one, sends it out toward left field. No chance for a diving catch here for Elliott.
A lot of foul balls.
Into the seats. And Guerra now down in the count 0-2. Rollo one good pitch from getting out of this inning. With the Huskies still ahead 2-1. Fastball.
He got him.
3. Rollo picked his spot and nailed it.
This guy is, look at this guy. Energy that he just exudes from his performance on the field as he's walking off, as he's walking on, but most importantly, the energy that he's shown as a young sophomore pitching like a veteran senior.
Bishop Brady strands the bases loaded for the second time today.
Look at the location.
And Monadnock will take the lead into the 7th. This is Friday Night Lights New Hampshire and the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
On we go to the 7th inning here in Manchester. Welcome back to coverage of the Division III championship game. It has been a barn burner between 3rd-seeded Bishop Brady, 5th-seeded Monadnock. Giants grabbed the early 1-0 lead in the first, but stranded the bases loaded with a chance for more. Monadnock has pressured just about every single inning they've taken the bat. Eventually worked across a run on a wild pitch in the 4th to tie the game. They've stranded 6 runners in scoring position. Took the lead in the top of the 6th.
Boy, he tracks the ball well.
Lucas Williams will finally make contact with the ball, but frustratingly flies out to center. leading off the 7th. Here comes Wesley McQuirk, who scored on a wild pitch in the 4th, walked his last time up in the 5th. It was a dropped fly ball, base hit from Kobe Kidney that led to the go-ahead run. And then Bishop Brady certainly had their chance to not only tie but take the lead back in the bottom half of the 6th, loaded the bases with 2 outs. But a big strikeout. Max Guerra, went down looking.
Yeah,
Chris Rollo got a huge punch out to escape the jam.
Yeah, let's not forget what Jack Spieth has done coming in this game in the 4th inning. The only run he's let in.
This one sent to the gap in right field. That'll be snared. Nice job by Curley getting over to that one as it was dipping quickly.
But let's not forget what Jack's done here. This is a tie ball game if it wasn't for a pop fly that had a little bit of a communication error there. But, boy, that's a nice catch right there. Jack's done a great job. You know, it was 1-1, I believe, when he came in the game, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, and so the run is unearned, and look at this. He's just firing away here in the top of the 7th inning.
3 innings for Spieth in relief, 4 walks, only 1 hit, but the 1 hit was the big one. And he has struck out 5. Little dribbler up the third baseline foul. Only the 1 hit allowed from Spieth.
What hit was that?
That was the drop fly ball.
That was an error.
No, that goes base hit.
Man.
When the outfielder has to slide and it bounces off his chest, I'm going to give credit to the hitter.
it went off of his glove up his midsection. So, to me, that's a ball that should have been caught. That was more communication error in my mind. But anyway, regardless of whether it's a scored error or not, it was by no means that's the only difference here. You got to give this guy a lot of credit.
Well, and he gets through a clean 7th inning to try to build some momentum for the Giant Bats. First 1-2-3 inning of any kind for anyone in this ballgame. So Spieth trying to fire up the Giants as Monadnock will try to defend its title of a year ago. It will take 3 more outs from Chris Rollo, who has spun his way sometimes into trouble, most of the time out of trouble. He has stranded the bases loaded twice, and outside of the first inning, he has only allowed 3 hits.
Well, Bishop Brady's got a good order, got a good group of guys. They got the bottom of the 7th situation here. It's all for them. It's a 1 run. You just got to get somebody on. But when you look out there at that young fella, that young sophomore on the mound, and you look at the game that this kid has pitched, boy, it's a pretty good piece of work there that he's put together.
Not sure you'd rather have any other group up. If you're Bishop Brady, it's going to be the 3, 4, 5 hitters, Spieth, Bedard, and Thresher.
Good point. Yep.
So some good bats coming up here to face Rollo. Will the Monadnock dynasty continue and add yet another state title to their ever-growing trophy case, or will Bishop Brady find a way to rally and come away with its 3rd state championship in school history? It has been a historical year in a lot of ways already for the Giants, but they would love to find a way to punctuate it here in the 7th.
If I was a recruiter looking for a prospect, for a pitcher prospect, and I was to look at this young man as a sophomore with all of the dimensional benefits that he has as a frame for a pitcher, it's prototype, and you look at the years he has ahead, he's got some work to do on the knuckleball. You know, there's a whole bunch of things to look at, but you're going to have an opportunity for next year to really take a look at this guy as he continues to develop. And it would not surprise me in the least, Ben, to see some people be keeping a close eye on this guy's career, high school career.
I'm sure many already are.
Yes.
As Rollo tries to close the door on a complete game 1-run victory. Spieth tried to rake that one.
I'm not sure he's lost 1 mile per hour on his velocity, Ben. That's the thing about it. He's got a good, strong arm, durable. 2. Look at this.
Goes to the outer half that time, and Spieth quickly behind 0-2.
He's an emotional pitcher, but he's in check. Those emotions are in check, but boy, he burns inside. You can see him when he comes off and goes on the field.
0-2, grounded to third. Up with it, Hill Goodell, and he makes the play. First time the freshman's been called into action defensively. Smooth as you like on the 5-3 putout, 1 down here in the 7th. One down, nobody aboard for the third baseman, Luke Bedard. Bouncer to third, Hill Goodell has it, tosses it.
When you see hitting like
taps
this,
the bag for the out.
Little tappers in the ground, that means there's still a lot of live movement on the ball with this pitcher. It's dropping out. It's giving the sort of motion he wants. Look at the emotions this guy's feeling as a young sophomore.
He has given it all in this game. But he needs to get one more out.
What I like is the deep emotion but composure built into the system at the same time. That ball has got just as good a velocity. I would argue it's probably throwing the ball better now. Oh, look at that thing drop right out. He's really impressive.
First pitch to Thresher's low. Thought he had given the Giants the lead in the 5th inning, but was robbed by Chase Elliott on an unbelievable diving catch down the left field line. That was a highlight for the ages for the left fielder.
Yeah, what a catch.
And that would set the stage for Monadnock to take the lead the very next half inning. Thresher trying to extend the game. The 1-1. Popped up.
It's going to be out of bounds.
Foul ground,
Yep.
and it'll make its way out of play.
But it's a 1-2 count. That gives him another strike, so he can really look at this. Really impressed with this young developing athlete here. So proud of New Hampshire with the pitches that, as I said earlier in the game here. Just every time we do these championships, we see the quality athletes that are coming out.
1-2, pulled outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Monadnock fans ready to explode in celebration.
Got a good crowd over there.
Folks in green on their feet. The 2-2. Ground ball foul. Thresher couldn't quite tuck it inside the bag there.
Yeah, Henry's doing a good job of shortening up his swings. He knows the pitcher out there has got high velocity, good stuff, good, and he's getting it across the plate quickly. So he's shortening up that swing. He knows he's got to get on base. So we'll see what they can do here. But they're down to their last out and their last strike.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in a 2-1 game. Called strike 3. Thresher throws the bat in frustration.
Yeah, that was pretty far outside. But you know what? When you're pitching like that, you build momentum, and you got to protect the plate. Yeah.
And Rolo with a perfect 7th inning, mobbed by his teammates.
Let's take a look at this pitch one more time here if we can.
The Monadnock dynasty continues.
What do you see here? Look. Yeah, to me, that's not even close. That was a tough call. I can sense Henry's frustration right there, but yeah. Wow.
So Bishop Brady, in what was a historic year, getting to just their 3rd ever championship game. The Giants had the early 1-0 lead, but as championship teams tend to do, Monadnock had no panic. They worked their way methodically back in. They played their game. They worked counts. They stole bases, and they got unbelievable pitching from Chris Rolo.
They made the best catch of the day so far out in left field. That was a backbreaker right there. They scored their first run on what I would argue was a pass ball, but they call it a wild pitch. It doesn't matter. Call it what you want. I think it was a pass ball. They scored. That's where they got their first run from. And their second run they got from a mix-up. I call it an error. You call it you call it a base hit. That doesn't matter either. The bottom line is it was kind of a play that had confusion in it. No difference in this one. They scored those small ball runs, Ben, that just can be the difference maker in 2 great teams. I feel, you feel for Bishop Brady right here. They were that good. They probably come in here a little favored, but I'm not sure that really wasn't more than neutralized by the Monadnock mystique coming in here. But if you're going to really look at the great defense, so many great things, but if there's one thing it's the control, the consistency, the marksmanship and the delivery and the mechanics that went on between that catcher and pitcher battery. This young man is really, Chris Rollo is something else. Looking forward to we have not heard the end of this guy. And to me, if there's one weapon that they put to use, just happens to be to win a championship, a sophomore pitcher. This kid was something else. This was
7 innings and only 1 run allowed, a complete game victory. Got out of 2 bases loaded jams along the way.
Yep.
Stranded 10 Bishop Brady runners
Yep.
in the ball game, and he leads Monadnock to their 4th title in 5 years. This amazing run continues for Tom Cody and the Huskies.
Absolutely, and Owen Thornton and Jack Spees deserve a tremendous amount of credit for the incredible pitching that they did. Innings 1 through 4 in a third, and then the rest of the 4th and the 5th, 6th, and 7th by Jack Spees. What a terrific job. The score's 2-1, folks. These teams could play each other 10 times and go 5-5 in my view. But they play one, and it's Monadnock coming out on top. Congratulations. If there was any thought about whether the Huskies were a dynasty, there's no worry about anymore. They are a dynasty right now. They've proved it. To me, this game just takes that completely over the edge. And not only they're a dynasty to look back many, many decades. I think you're going to find in any division to see this kind of domination. Congratulations to them, and congratulations to Bishop Brady as well for a tremendous season. Just 1 run short. That's all. 4
titles in 5 years now for the Monadnock Regional Huskies. As they take the victory in Division 3, want to pass along thanks again to our entire production team. For Steve Beals, I'm Ben Ulcher. And the final, once again, Monadnock takes home the D3 crown once again, topping Bishop Brady 2-1. We invite you to come back for our final championship game of the day. Sauhegan and John Stark in the Division 2 state title game. It'll be a good one indeed. It comes up next at 7 o'clock, a little bit after 7 o'clock on Friday Night Lights in conjunction with the NFHS Network.